video from last week, by the way.
Okay, good. So speaking of, when we last left our heroes, they had freed the city of Silvery Moon. They had had an encounter with a storm giant representative who told them the tale of the missing Prince August and the ill-fated deal the king had done with a hag. The party was on their way to Mirabar and had an encounter with a group of orcs. This encounter seemed to be pleasant from the orcs' point of view, but less pleasant from some of your points of view. And then they told you a story. They pulled out a piece of metal, which, remember, you had a piece of metal which was very strong and very light, which seemed to be the same type of metal as the lump all of you had found up at the up when you fought the frost giants. You had found a piece of metal, found a note that seemed to refer to a mithril mine, and sort of filed that away. And now you've found some orcs who have a similar piece of metal, and they say they found a mine mining a metal that they call aluminium, and that they had fought with some dwarves outside of Mirabar
Just
over
like Leo will.
Yeah, right.
it. And this apparently they were part of the battle where. Can you change your name from Matesley? It's my brain is not that big.
Yeah. Sorry.
where Thrax nearly lost his life and his brother did lose his life. They were fighting some orcs, and then the regular army from Mirabar came and killed their force, their irregular force from Mirabar. Not a simple story, but it sounds like all of that was fighting over. The orcs said that was when they had found the aluminium mine and they were trying to establish a claim to it, and they got set upon by the Mirabaran army. So answering some questions, opening more questions, and they now say that the dwarves and the giants, the frost giants, now appear to be working this mine that they found. And at the same time, you did hear from Mirabar that people are being sent down into mines to die. So with
Hashtag
all these,
not all dwarves.
with all these pieces put together, I mean, we left off. You were finishing a nice meal of goat with these orcs. Should we pick up there or pick up with you hitting back on the road?
If you had asked me a year and a half ago if I thought I would be sitting around a campfire enjoying a meal with a band of orcs, I would have told you were crazy. But maybe there's something to the way my brother Obadiah looks at the world, and that most of us humanoid creatures do have things in common, and these orcs seem to respect justice and their own freedom in their own way, although they're a bit more.
Nope, they're a bunch of bastards.
They're a bit more warlike than we would be accustomed to. I think that we have a common enemy, and though we may not be permanent allies, I think that our two missions may align here. So perhaps we can follow this lead that they've given us in order to help our own cause.
And
Thrax,
can I say that? So it seems like Neil was uncharacteristically quiet last week, but towards the tail end, I don't know if you're aware, but Neil does speak fluent orc, and so it would only be so proper for Neil to sing a tune to the orcs to ingrate himself to their
heck yes,
we need to get into their good graces. Maybe a little show for them as well. So while we're eating the goat, perhaps some performance would be due to persuade them that we're on their side.
I just imagine these orcs sitting around saying, "Do you take requests? Can you do the parting glass?"
But I
So,
think, yeah, after the combat last time, I think I sort of said, "Oh, Neil's been playing an enthralling performance this whole time," because you surely would have been. So
It surely would have been, yeah.
I can roll some dice, or I can say one or two of them are big fans of yours at this point.
Okay, that sounds
big
that sounds
fans.
good.
So, Thrax,
I got
you
groupies. I got my groupies.
Thrax, you made some mention last time that you think these orcs had some connection to the shenanigans with your old unit. Could you expound on that again for us?
Yeah, so we were going to fight an orc invasion. We were going down a valley, and
You're not
we were-
expanding in front of
No.
the orcs, right? So
No, no,
this
no,
is-
no, no. Is this just for Khalifa, or
If
is
you
this-
like,
is this
we
Don,
can-
or is this a-
Or we
Okay,
can
yeah,
like
yeah.
create the mental link if that's easiest.
Let's set the tone, or let's set the table first. What's happening? Like, as Jay asked, are we on the road having left this? Are we?
I think we're sitting around the campfire is the way I was going at the moment.
We had a parting song, so maybe we leave the next morning.
Sure, we
Yeah,
can
I
talk
mean,
about it
it's
on the
like
road.
it's like early afternoon, and you're about a day and a half from your village. So if you move along without too much dilly-dallying, you'll be getting to your village, Thrax, in the evening time, a day from now.
I don't know. Maybe they want to do some more wrestling and maybe Melvin and Breezy want to hang out with these orcs a little bit longer.
Breezy's going to be looking for a way to fuck these orcs up. I demand satisfaction.
All right, Thrax, tell your story. Tell your story.
Okay, yes, right. So it was this terrible betrayal. We were ambushed by way more orcs than we thought. And while we defeated them all, we were decimated. And then the guy, the dwarf lord who betrayed, the general who betrayed us, came back and killed off most of the survivors. So apparently he must have been in league with the orcs or in league with somebody. And it turns
Is that
out
General
this
Droost
very-
that you told us
General
about?
Droost, yes, this very, very canyon apparently is where the orcs found their aluminium mine. So it looks like there was some sort of like he was moving in on them and trying to eliminate competition within the city.
I see. And to your knowledge, was he acting with the full knowledge and and cooperation of like the dwarf kingdom, or was he a rogue warlord, or
He was working with some civilian elements within the city and the city militia to eliminate the professional, the mercenary army, the guard that was that Thrax was part of. That's all I know. Like he, like I'm guessing that he had, like there's a reason he tried to knock us all off, and that might have something to do with the general who's making everyone who's in league with the frost giants, making everybody mine aluminium. But I don't know who he was in league with or anything like that. But I want to get him.
do you think that you could trust orcs enough to use them as a separate attacking force when we're
I
we're
think
doing this?
before
I
we
mean-
just do what the orcs wish, we need to go to Mirabar and see what else is and get our own understanding of what's happening. there.
I mean, where we
Right.
left things with the orcs was
We're meeting the orcs in a week north of the city or something like that.
yeah, we'll send
Right.
them a message. Maybe they'll come help us out. Maybe they'll come not, or maybe we won't send them the message.
That's right. We said we'd meet them on the north of town. Did we settle on a signal? Oh, we said we'd send them. We'd do a sending
We
to
do
them.
a bird. We have a bird.
One or the other. I always have that sending spell prepared, which then we only have like 9 birds left, I think,
Fair enough. Yeah, that's right.
or 9 pieces of paper that can become birds. Breezy, I know that that battle cut you off guard, but we all had your back. I saw Brambrek, getting ready with his mace, and I was ready to cast a, wall of force around you if there was any
You
real
were going to be
danger to your health.
flying before you knew it.
Yeah.
So, we got
We
you.
wouldn't leave you guys hanging out to dry with these chuckleheads.
Appreciated.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
so
that's my piece.
the orcs are licking their fingers off the last bits of lamb juice or goat juice they're eating, and they're done with their meal, and you've worked out with them that you'll be in touch with them, and they say, okay, we'll take up a position north of the city, try to keep an eye on the mines, and yeah, you reach out to us and we'll have some sort of coordinated fight.
We will take
Eight
the
who kill
500
giants.
gold as payment though.
Okay, yes, they hand it to you.
There you go, Breezy.
Voice.
Well, it's hard to be too bitter about that then.
What was the 500 gold for? Just like the pre-bounty?
To kill giants. That's everything. That's to
I've had
wipe
it.
out a
Giving
town
it
of giants.
Up front. Okay,
You're the 8 who kill giants.
sure. But that's very
What are you going to do?
good.
Betray them?
It must have been Neil's influence that caused them to pay us up front. That's pretty boss.
Well, we can go invest it in some real estate now that we got it up front. So.
Yes, now we can finally buy that bar we've been trying to buy.
All right. So you head on the road in the direction of Mirabar, but Thrax also mentions that by tomorrow evening you should be near his village, and he'd love to check in with his family and like to introduce you all around. I assume Thrax says that.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
All right.
He said he's listening. He just had to go away from the camera. Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
that's
I'm in
fine.
the same room and everything.
That's fine. All right. Anything else you want to do before you head out? All right. You walk for about 4 more hours. You make camp. Khalifa, as he's been doing this whole time, grabs a few hours to scrawl on his scrolls. And anything else anybody else wants to do while you're making camp for the night?
Well, I was
I
going to
went
work
ahead
on
and-
that potion that I got the ingredients for.
Okay.
I was going to brew that.
I went
up.
ahead and put those in my inventory to just go ahead and call it what I have been scribing out.
Okay.
So I have 2 level 2 scrolls and 2 level 1 scrolls.
All right.
Fog,
Yeah.
cloud, jump, earthbind, and enlarge, reduce.
Earthbind's a good one. Yeah, those are good ones to have as scrolls. So you don't know. Yeah. You don't need them all the time. When you need them, you need them. Yeah. And AP, I was telling Hunter that, but you're walking for 8 hours, you're sleeping for 8 hours or 4 hours in his case. That still leaves plenty of time to do like you making your potion or whatever.
Okay, great.
I'm as people settle down for the evening, I'm gonna like pull out the jar from Morgie that she gave me or sent me in the little skin, and sort of like concentrate on it and see if I can. I know we've had this strange connection, and see if I can get her attention, and I want to see if she knows anything about the hag who made the deal with the Storm King.
Can you remind me, John, about this jar? I can't remember that. Is
This
that
is the
like a soul
jar that I
jar?
got.
that's
This is
empty?
what I got when we freed Silvery Moon, and it came with the like weird coonskin.
I remember the
bag.
raccoon that he
Oh.
got.
Yeah, I
Inside it
remember
was
the raccoon, but I didn't.
a jar.
There was a
I
jar.
missed the jar. Interesting.
Yeah, I all I did was I took it, pocketed it slowly, or like pocketed it quickly, and didn't say or do anything about it. So
Okay, carry on.
Brambrek is somewhat private about this thing, and so he doesn't.
And you're
want to-
doing this right now in private, so we don't see you
Yes.
also?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's any, I don't have any way to connect with her other than like trying to like focus on this jar and see if I can, she has come to me in my dreams before. Perhaps that's enough to trigger a dream.
Pretty cool tactic.
Yeah. You talk to the jar. Nothing. It acts like a normal jar.
Okay. I'll put it away for now.
Would somebody, one of the players remind me, what's the connection between Morgie and the Candy Cane Glaive?
We got
she
it
the one we-
from one of her minions, one of her conjured gingerbread defenders.
All right. So it's definitely one of hers, and maybe that's the lick me connection there.
Maybe.
All right, anything else?
I think
No,
we're ready to bed
but I
down.
do let folks know that I have those scrolls available, and so in case anybody thinks we need someone that can jump extra far, or a fog cloud, or enlarge, reduce, or earth bind of some sort of flying creature, then let me know, because I got those.
Right. Okay, you settle down for the night. You set watch, or I guess you're probably inside your tiny hut. Maybe you also set watch also. So Brambrek, as you drift off to sleep, maybe, I don't know, how are you feeling as you're drifting off to sleep tonight?
I mean, fine. I'm well rested, ready to go.
Okay, all right.
I don't. I mean,
I don't know if
guess
you're apprehensive, or if you're excited, or
No, I'm fairly stoic about it. I'm looking at this as an avenue to get more information.
Mhm.
I still feel in control of the Morgie situation.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so you fall asleep, and some unknown time you enter into a dream, and in this dream, you're standing next to Morgie, and you see the giant that you met a couple days ago. You see the I forget her name, but the nature giant, storm
Yeah.
giant who had visited you, and you see her, and there's a man and a woman behind her. They're dressed very regally, and they're looking very distressed. They're alternating between weeping and looking at her anxiously, and the giant pulls out something, and she says, "Show me the location of the son of King Hecaton." And she throws these chicken bones down on the ground, and she looks at them, and she doesn't respond, but that non-response is taken negatively, and the man and the one behind her sort of make sounds of they're upset. And she says, let me try again. And she shakes these bones. She says, "Show me August, the child of Neri." And she throws the bones out there, and she doesn't even shake her head no, but she doesn't react. And the two behind her are getting more upset. She says, no, let me keep trying.
And
She
you said
says-
Morgie and I are kind of like watching this from the side.
yeah, you're
sort
watching
of
off to the side, and
like Ghost of
and-
Christmas Past style or something.
yeah, yeah. And she says, "Oh, Brambrek, they don't even understand the mistake they're making." And you see the woman shake the bones again. She says, "Show me the prince who is the descendant of the Storm Kings," and throws the bones. And Morgie says, "Oh, how foolish of her, how silly. It's so obvious." And the woman, she picks up the bone, she shakes him, she says, "Show me the one whose ancestors are the storm giant kings who sat on the worm skull throne." And she throws them, and with each failure, the two behind her are getting more and more distraught. And Morgie says to you, Brambrek, let this be a lesson to you. If you ask the wrong questions, you'll never get the right answer. And the dream then fades, and you sleep peacefully for the rest of the night.
No roll for exhaustion or anything?
No, not this time.
Okay.
Don't know when or if Ryan is showing up. So, I mean, should we
I
just?
can text him.
Yeah, I just texted him asking for an ETA.
Okay.
I'm
You
going
watching the Super Bowl? Was
to,
that what this thing was?
yeah, yeah.
No, it looks like it's still in the third quarter.
Well, I didn't know if he's staying for the whole game.
Is anyone winning?
Someone was. I didn't
Probably.
actually look.
A team,
Um,
yeah, someone is winning.
That's all I need to know.
I think it was 20-17, but I don't remember which one was which.
That's all right. I don't know who's playing.
All right, Neil. Neil, you fall asleep that night.
Are we rolling bones? I like rolling bones.
No, you have a dream, and in this dream, you are walking through a forest in the evening. Sorry, in the night, and the moon is shining down. And when you look at the moon, it's like a stylized moon. It actually reminds you of the symbols you've seen of Sahane, the moon goddess, who is on your armor. And you've seen her temple, and you actually took cleric initiate, so you've gotten some of her abilities, and you went to her temple in Baldur's Gate, I believe. So you look at it,
Okay.
it looks like almost like a drawing of the moon up in the sky, and it makes you think of Sahane, the moon goddess. And you're walking through the forest in the moonlight, and you see the moonlight shining on one tree standing alone in a field. As you walk up to that tree, you see a large bough growing off of the tree. You see a branch coming off of the bough. You see a leaf on the branch. And on the branch, you see a caterpillar.
A very hungry caterpillar?
It is not very hungry. It appears to be very satisfied. The caterpillar starts to spin some silk, which envelops it. And it's slowly putting itself in this silk. As it's acting, it stays nighttime, but you see the moon go past you. It changes phases from full moon to half moon to crescent moon, and you see the caterpillar has completely surrounded itself with a cocoon. The moon keeps going through changing phases from a new moon back to a waning moon, all the way to a full moon again. As you're sitting here watching the caterpillar's chrysalis, what is it? Cocoon. And as the moon gets back to the full moon, the cocoon opens up and a butterfly flies out. You hold out your hand, and the butterfly lands on your hand right in front of you. And the moon comes down in the sky, so you can see the butterfly in your hand in front of you and the moon in the background. And you hear a voice come from the moon. The voice asks, "Where is the caterpillar?" The moon goes dark, everything fades, you sleep restfully the rest of the night.
A long
Good-
dream. I must be
good dream.
really well rested. And did I speak to the tree at all?
You did not.
Missed
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
Jay, did the caterpillar say, and we won't ever
Where
get-
is
and
the
we won't
caterpillar?
ever die.
my daughters read that book.
Cocoon, nice.
Oh, I was thinking Tuck Everlasting.
No, Cocoon.
They did not read the
Yeah,
book
it's a-
Cocoon.
I did
Wilford Brimley reference.
not- Wilford Brimley, who was
know.
only like 50 when he made that movie.
Yeah, but he looked $1 billion.
The Brimley line, right?
Yeah. All right. So, two of you have had interesting dreams. All of you wake up. Thrax is excited because you're less than a day's journey from his village. Any conversations around breakfast?
Yeah, I bring up the caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly metamorphosis, moon conversation. Anyone have any thoughts of what that might mean?
Well, maybe it refers to Cooper Black. It's basically sounds like it's saying someone we're looking for is no longer the thing they were. And maybe that's why it's a hard time finding them.
Well, we're looking for lots of things. Cooper Black is certainly one of them.
Yeah, but it sounds like somebody who's being sought is no longer what they were, and so you've got to find a new thing for them.
Well, there's also that storm giant. August, I guess, no one's been able to find them.
I
Hey,
don't
heck,
say
I'm
anything
sorry.
about my dreams, just so you know.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I dreamed I was running through a bazaar, a market, wearing nothing but like sliced meats. It was very weird. That was my dream. I don't know if that means anything or, you know.
That is unusual.
But like there were like women chasing me with crackers. So. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You head off on your journey towards Mirabar and towards Thrax's village. An eventful day of travel, but around evening time, you're getting, late afternoon, you're getting close to Thrax's village. So Thrax, how large is your village?
Oh, it's about, it's normal village size, like 400, 500 people.
Okay, yeah. All
Do
one
you still
tribe,
have
right?
relatives live
Yes.
there, you think?
Oh, yes. My parents are still there, plus the kinsmen and members of my clan.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. You're approaching the village. Do you have any specific place you go first, or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, Thrax is a barbarian, so he's naturally suspicious. So he's going to scope it out a little bit. Like he's not going to run straight in and shout, "Yoo-hoo, I'm home."
Okay.
So he'll enter cautiously and do a little reconnoitering, maybe from a tree off the side of the road to make sure things look normal.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. 3.
3. You think you catch sight of a few frost giants, but then you think, oh, those are trees. Aside from that, I don't know, man. I don't know. The people are walking around, but like in a not suspicious way, but a not suspicious way that makes you a little suspicious. So,
All right, we're just gonna have to go in. So I think maybe Thrax leads the way in with everybody else following.
okay. You just going to the center of town, or what are you doing?
I think I should go to my parents' house first.
Okay. All right.
Do they have a
But that-
basement?
Yeah, exactly. Sunny D.
Yeah, the dwarves, of course, they have basements.
Oh yeah, it's like all basement.
Yeah.
All right. So you're walking up to your parents' house and the window's open and you hear your mother saying, "Oh, we'd be so honored to be part of it. We are so happy for you two guys. Yes, this is wonderful. I'm so looking forward to tonight and thank you for asking us to be a part of it."
That sounds good. All right, so let's.
And then you hear the voice of Trevok, your old buddy, saying,
Oh well.
"Well, yes, I wish Thrax could be here, but you guys are like second parents to me, so yeah, I want you to be a part of this.
Okay, this sounds fantastic.
We're ready for tonight."
So Thrax is going to run in the door with open arms.
Okay, so you run in the door. There's your parents standing there, and Trevok and another male dwarf, and they're holding a little baby.
Wow.
And everybody looks at you and they're shocked. They don't drop the baby, but they're shocked at Thrax. Thrax, you're here. Awesome. And Trevok, your parents get the first hugs, and then Trevok gives you a hug. He's like, Thrax, this is great. Oh, I can't believe you're here. Have you met my husband, Gimart? Did you know I got married? Yeah,
Awesomeness.
this is my
Cool.
husband, Gimart. And we are so happy. And this is our baby. What's the name? I don't know. This is our baby. She just joined us. She just joined our family, and she'll be joining the clan tonight. We're doing the clan bonding ritual to bond her to our ancestors. So, Thrax, you've been gone a long time. I don't know if you remember this, but I was just talking to your parents, but would you do us the honor of leading the clan bonding ritual? Do you still remember it?
Oh, you never forget the clan bonding. No one forgets the clan bonding.
Yeah. And they look around at the rest of you. They're like, oh, who are you? Are you Thrax's friends? What are you doing here?
I introduced them around.
Okay. And yeah.
Suddenly
all
they're
right.
the quiet ones. This is so strange.
I explained that we met up with Thrax as a crew to help defend a mine that was the ancestral right of a brotherhood of dwarves that could
Khalifa,
help
are you-
forge things, and that he then Thrax helped us greatly in freeing my
And
mother
then-
from
and then-
enslavement. And then I tell him about how the giants and the freeing Silvery Moon, and I tell him what a hero Thrax has become and what a true friend he has been.
I love
to
you, man.
me.
I love you.
Okay. And when
It's
you
pretty long.
when you're
It's
talking
a
about the
pretty long
giants, when you're talking about the giants, they gesture to their daughter, Inga. I just decided she should have a name, Inga. And they say, oh, yes, the giants, Inga's first father, he was, original father, he was actually working at Mirabar when the giants attacked, and he did not survive the first wave of attack. And her mother, poor dear, she's part of a tribe that has, he says that's it's the ferret tribe. They're about 20 miles away. You're familiar with them, Thrax. And she died in childbirth, poor thing. So, it's very sad, but they had heard about us, and they had heard that we wanted to take in a child. So when the mother passed away, they sent a messenger to our village. And so me and Gimmert are so happy to be parents. And this girl, she will be bonded to, she will now be bonded to our ancestors, and our ancestors will be her ancestors after tonight. So wonderful.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Has
This is
Thrax
perfect
talked to you
for us.
about the ancestors? It's sort of a big deal around this town.
I understand they swirl. They swirl.
Yes.
They've been known to swirl. They've been known to swirl. But after tonight, they will be this girl's ancestors. That's
Do
We've
the
all-
ancestors not care about blood?
The ancestors care about bonding,
yes,
man. It's the bonding ritual.
exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. So he says, okay, it'll be starting in a couple hours. Have fun with your parents. We've got some more preparations to do, but if you could lead this, Thrax, that would mean the world to me.
I'm your man.
All right. All right.
Okay, so he's gone, and let's see if we can make chit chat with my parents and then find out what happened when the giants attacked Mirabar. What they know.
Oh, okay. I mean, they're a couple days travel from Mirabar. So what they know is what they've heard, which is that the giants attacked. It was brutal. There was a lot of killing in the initial wave. They didn't let anybody leave. I mean, some people managed to, and that's how stories have gotten out, but they've been trying to keep anyone from leaving. That was the initial attack. And since then, it squares with what you've heard before. There have been confusing stories from the city about a general who's sort of taken power, and that they're saying a lot of people are dying in the mines. What they've heard is that some dwarves who've worked in the mines their whole lives, they're going down into these mines and barely making it out alive, or they're barely making it out alive. Let me, if I can check one thing, I'll try not to get too distracted, but so they say they're barely making it out alive. They, the humans who are going down in the mines usually aren't making it out alive. Dwarves rarely are. They're saying that some of them can survive if they can make it to dry shelter. They're not really sure what that means exactly.
This is crazy. Are these the same mines that they've always used, that people are used to going down, or are these different
Apparently
ones?
it's a different kind of mine, and the mines that they're going into, hardened miners who've spent their lives underground are dying, and that they're only making out if they can get to dry shelter, which that's what they've heard. They don't know what that means.
So if we describe sort of what we saw in other cities, are the giants ruling the same way there? Taking all the food, or, demanding tribute from the locals like those hill giants were, or the things we've seen in other places?
They say that they're mostly just ruling with an iron fist. They've got everybody locked down and taking them to his mines.
Has anyone fought the giants? What about the city guard? What about the militia?
That they were cut. If they fought back, they were cut down in the initial wave. And any militia that still exists, there's no militia to speak of that still exists. Again, they say they've heard of a general who's sort of maintaining internal order, but is not raising arms against the giants.
Is that General Drust?
They haven't heard a name.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, I'll say they have heard the name is General Drust. Why draw it out? Yes, they've heard General Drust. That the Lord of the City, whose name I'm not going to find in the next 10 seconds, Lord of the City died in the initial attack, and now General Drust is in charge.
Wow. Well, do we still have friends and clansmen who are there? I mean, I've heard about people who are trapped there, but are there people we think are still alive who need rescuing?
I mean, most of your clansmen are still in here in the tribe. I mean, there might be, I don't know of anybody specific there, but there are people. And
okay, so it's just people from other tribes and like Trevok's daughter's original parents, for example. Yeah. Okay. We care less about them, but they are dwarves, and we have a score to settle. All right.
All right. So you ready to go to the, you have dinner. She makes your favorite dinner, which is
beef stroganoff.
All right, great. And then you go to sort of the city center where this clan bonding is going to occur, and everybody in town knows you. They're also happy to see you back. Word has gotten around a little bit. And would you like to describe the clan bonding ceremony?
Sure. So
the rest
everyone
of us get to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not secret. It's just like you
Just
can't
one.
participate, right? It's like it's a stand, just stay quiet and look reverent, kind of thing.
Yeah. Since Thrax is participating, his parents aren't now, so they're hanging out with you and they can explain.
Yeah,
but
they're
they say mostly just to watch.
Well, Thrax is leading it, but everyone who's there, who's part of the clan, participates. And so the first thing that happens is that we build a fire, and everyone gathers around it. And then everyone either strips off whatever clothing they're wearing or bears their shoulders way down, right? And you see that all the dwarves there are covered with scars, right? So it's, you know that Thrax is always scarifying scenes of his ancestors on his arms and stuff that he can reach, but these all are scars like up on their shoulders. And they almost look like a cross between Braille and Morse code. Like there doesn't seem to be any real pattern or art there, right? They're just rows and rows of dots and vertical lines and horizontal lines that are all kind of, they're almost like writing. And so Thrax says, Thrax pulls out a knife and Trevok holds the baby. And Thrax leads everyone and says, here we remember our ancestor, the forefather of our clan, Adric and Amber, who started our clan and led our village here. And he points, so he points with one hand to the first dot, and he draws a little drop of blood in the shoulder of this baby, who of course starts screaming, right? And you notice everyone else is doing the same thing. Everyone else repeats the name, Adric and Amber. And their son, Alberic, who married Arden. And so there's a little dot that he draws, and baby's scrolling, but everybody else is reciting these names all at the same time, and they're holding their, they're moving over to this next one. And they get to the next line. They say, okay, and then their firstborn, Bairn, who was taken away from them and died in the wilderness. And everyone chants, oh, Bairn. And so now there's a little line and the baby's kind of screaming. They keep on going. So it's like this kind of litany of the saints involving bloodshed almost. And everyone is kind of moving down as they recite the names of their ancestors. They're reciting this family tree that mentions the children of this couple, of the ancestors, but it especially mentions not just the lineal descendants, but it mentions all of the brothers or sisters who had no children and had no descendants because they died of sickness, or they died in violence, or they got lost or stepped on by a giant or something, right? And they go all the way through. And as they are conjuring up this family tree of all the ancestors that preceded them and all of those members of the clan who had no descendants there, you see the ancestors swirling around in this great cloud of spectral barbarian dwarves, male and female, and young ones as well, because this includes the ones who were killed or whatnot, right? And finally, do they get to the end, and Thrax says, with this, we welcome you,
Inga.
Inga, to the clan, and the name of the clan, which I forgot, the Baldur clan. And everyone chants this, and the ancestors are swooping around, and everyone's kind of in this dancing frenzy, and the baby is still crying, but it's not as crying as loud because, of course, it's not being poked anymore. And so there's this ceremonial application of mud to everyone's to the baby's spots. But the last thing that Thrax mentions, the last name that he mentions of people who had no descendants, is his brother Almanrax, and explains Almanrax was betrayed by General Drust and killed in battle after fighting nobly. And everyone repeats this because this is now part of the litany that will be passed down in the clan. So there we go.
Is there food?
And then there's the feast. So
Yes.
we all retire to the feast. Thrax was just, the MC. He was not actually involved in any of the cooking. Presumably the happy parents were orchestrating that.
I gravitate toward the older people in the crowd and talk to them about the history of some of these battles that I just heard. And
They love talking. They love talking.
Oh, yeah.
They love it.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
I'm all about hearing everything they have to say and talking as well.
You're a very popular guy.
I'm really good with parents.
Thrax, I'm hoping there's feats of strength as well that I can participate in and,
You know,
wrestle with
well,
some dwarves.
once we get some food and drink in us, I think everybody is ready for feats of strength. Not the orc-like ones that beat up Melvin and Breezy, but some arm wrestling.
Yeah.
All right, feats of strength it is. Are you? Was it arm wrestling? Was that what it was called for, or?
So I suggest that someone other than Thrax arm wrestle Brambrek or wrestle Brambrek.
I hear Breezy's a lot stronger than he used to be.
Nope, he has better constitution than he used to have.
All right.
That means he can drink a little bit more.
You get one of the young men from the town, and he's like, okay, all right. Oh, a Goliath. I haven't seen a Goliath around here. All right. Let's put it down. Puts his arm up. Brambrek,
Yeah.
give me a strength roll.
Oh, I must have had some bad meat. I rolled a 1.
1 plus what? Because this guy only got an 8 in total.
1 plus 9.
For strength?
Oh, is it an athletics or is it just straight up?
I'm just saying strength.
Okay, 6 then.
Okay. Yeah, it's both of you are feeling a little woozy. Think you got some bad yams or something like that. But
Double
he
or
does
nothing.
he does
Double
come
or
out on
nothing.
top.
Yeah, and Brambrek also knows how to make himself popular amongst a clan of barbarian dwarves.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, so
Right.
then his
After-
brother steps up. He's like, you got the easy brother. Give me a strength roll.
17.
25.
Yeah.
So-
After my embarrassing defeat, I raise my glass and I cheer the clan and acknowledge their greatness.
Yeah, you're popular. They like that. Yeah. And the two brothers that both beat you, they give you shots of something that smells like turpentine and drink it with you.
Is it time for some music?
I would say so.
I'd be happy to oblige.
Do you know
What do you like?
dwarven songs?
Well, there are some local musicians. They've got some bagpipes and some lutes going, but they clearly need a beat to really give them some structure to their music. So
I do
Give me-
Can we
speak.
just go 4/4? Are we doing the 7/8 and then the 4/4 and then back to 7/8, then 15/16 and then back to 4/4? Is that what we're doing, or are we just doing the
saying
4/4?
we didn't know Thrax's friends were so into math. And then the bagpipe just starts going, and you sort of see where he's trying to go with the song. Give me a performance check.
Performance check. Let's see. 18.
Oh yeah. This you're really making the night. Mhm.
And I do speak Dwarvish, and I think I've read some of the old Dwarven sagas. So I start to recite one of the more famous passages to try to impress them with my knowledge of ancient Dwarven lore.
Give me a history check.
Come on. 21.
Yeah, you get it. They're impressed. Some of them get a little teary-eyed as you get to the more emotional parts of the saga. And
400
Nope.
score and 7 years ago, Thrax's forefathers here on this continent.
You're basically copying the Gettysburg Address but changing a bunch of
How do you
stuff.
know the Gettysburg Address? You're in 2nd grade.
That's funny.
All right. So while y'all are doing that, Thrax's parents are sitting there dining. Who's dining with Thrax's parents, if anyone? Who's chilling with them? No, you're up there reading oratory poems.
Sure, I'm dining with the parents.
Okay. Yeah. And the mom has taken a liking to you. She's like, "Oh, I think you're a good influence on Thrax. I'm so glad he's found all of you to spend time with. And she says, and the ceremony, I always love the ceremony. And I'm biased. It shouldn't matter. All children in this tribe are the same, but I especially like the ones where we're welcoming a new child into the tribe. I guess I'm just biased. When we bring a child from the outside into the tribe, that just touches my heart in a special way.
Why is that?
Says, oh, well, because that's how my two children joined the tribe.
Oh, I don't know that. I didn't know that. I don't think Thrax ever shared that he came from outside of the your clan.
Well, it's not
Original.
really I shouldn't be discussed. It's not really discussed because once a child goes through the ceremony, the child is part of our clan.
Well, I could see how they would be
Period.
bonded to the
Completely.
clan after something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is no difference between a child that comes in from the outside and a child that's born here. It's just a sentimental. So it's not something we discuss. It's not something we've really even discussed with Thrax because we don't want there to be any difference. But
Well, but I'm so curious now. I mean, Thrax seems like he belongs here through and through, as you would expect after being bonded like that. But I am curious, where did he join you from?
so that is a story. And she looks around. She says, "Are you staying at our place? Let's have this story back at our place. That is a story, certainly, but."
Well, I would love to hear it. I am always curious about my friend Thrax.
Yeah. Well, she says, well, it looks like things are winding down a little bit. The feats of strength are winding down. So I think we'll be going back to our place soon, and maybe we'll have some warm mugs of ale and tell you that story. I don't even know if Thrax has heard it. He probably heard it as a young man, but he was probably busy playing with his axes or something.
He would probably love to hear it again.
All right. Anything anybody else wants to do before you retire back to their house? Okay. So you all walk back to the house, and she makes some hot toddies for everybody, gets a fire going, giving you, spiced alcoholic drinks. And she says, "Oh, your friend with the colorful clothes was asking about when Thrax joined our tribe. And Thrax, as I told him, we don't distinguish between children born here, children brought into the tribe. But well, and she's sitting there with her husband, and she says, well, my husband and I, we wanted to have children, and I hope this isn't too delicate for you, but my baby making parts are not like the baby making parts of other women. They're more like my husband's and more like Thrax's. So when we knew that we wanted to have children, we knew that it wouldn't be in the traditional way. And so we're looking around for a child either in our tribe or outside of our tribe to bring in. And one night, as we're wanting to start our family, one night an old woman came up the road with a baby, and she told the most horrible story. She said that there was a wagon up the road with a family in it, and that the parents had been set upon and killed by bandits, and that when she came up to this wagon, the parents were dead and only the baby was alive. And then she wasn't prepared. She wasn't a dwarf. She wasn't prepared to take care of a baby. So she came to our town looking for someone who could take care of this baby. So of course, immediately we said we did. And that's how our little Thrax came to join our clan.
Is Ariel the only one here at this point, or this is?
No,
this is
all
when-
of you are here. This is your back of the house.
So, Jay, is this news to Thrax or not? Because it's news to me.
Yeah, let's say it is. It was sort of taboo to talk about, yes, it is.
Okay. So Thrax reacts with surprise. And it's like, but what about Armin Rax?
Yeah, he was a little more story that had less bandits and slaughtering of parents. It was more like Inga this morning. It was from from one of our neighboring tribes. A woman had already had 7 children, and Arwen Rax was her 8th, and they just didn't think they could provide for the children. So Arwen Rax is now ours.
Did you ever learn anything about Thrax's parents?
We are Thrax's.
I'm
parents.
sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, you just
Ariel,
mentioned the
this
ones
is
who
the
were
way.
slaughtered in the.
Oh,
Care of the foundlings as their own. This is the way, Ariel. Come on.
I
no,
know, but I'm just
I know
curious.
what you mean. The poor family that was set upon by bandits.
Yes, indeed.
Such a shame that someone can't even travel this country without being set upon by bandits. No, good question. She points to Orzik, Thrax's dad. She says, Orzik and some of the other men, they followed the directions that this woman said, the old woman said, and they followed where she said she found this wagon and looked all around. They didn't find a wagon. They were going to bury the bodies. That's the only decent thing to do. They didn't find any bodies. They didn't find a wagon. They didn't find any sign of any attack or anything. So she must have been confused. Maybe it was a different direction. They looked quite a bit. Didn't find any sign of this wagon. No. We were a little worried because there are some stories of children being stolen. So we sent out riders to every village within one day's ride to see, like, have there been any babies stolen? Just to make sure. And there were no stories of any babies stolen. So we think her story is true. We think she was just confused about where the wagon was and where the family was.
Yeah, I want to see if I can see if she's leaving anything out of the story. If my insight gives me any view as to whether she's being completely truthful.
Give me an insight check.
24.
24?
Yeah.
She's anxious because this is a taboo subject.
Okay.
And she's not being untruthful. Of course, there are more details, but she's not being untruthful about anything she said.
Okay.
That's it. Thrax is Cooper Black.
I think Thrax is August, the storm giant. And he's just been magically stunted.
Or maybe it's just this dwarven food.
That explains the disparity when he disrobes.
So how old was I when I was brought here? Was I just a baby or?
Oh, a very young baby. Looked like a month. I mean, we don't know, of course, but you looked like you're about a month old.
Whatever happened to the person who brought Thrax here?
Oh, that woman, and this is where Thrax's dad speaks up. Yeah, that woman, she was weird. I don't know if she was human or elf or what, but the ugliest woman I've ever seen. And that's when the mom slaps him and says, she was not ugly. She brought us our Thrax. She was beautiful. And the dad is like whispering, she was ugly. And they said, no, we don't know. She said she was a traveler. She was just doing a good deed by finding this abandoned baby and bringing him to someone who would raise him. And then she moved on. We've never seen anything from her since.
Do we remember long ago Thrax's blood was a big deal?
It
Yep,
was,
that's
and
why
who
I've been
was it a
asking all
big
these
deal
questions.
to?
It was a big deal to
Morgie.
right?
Morgie.
Oh,
She really wanted a vial of your blood. She could give a hoot about anyone else's. That was a long time ago, but
Also, the vampires were pretty.
were they on it too?
yeah, they
if I
were.
recall.
They were into it.
Oh.
There's also these times when Thrax is like should have taken damage but didn't.
Well, you also have that electric.
Should have taken what
Special
kind of
item.
damage?
That was lightning damage. Oh, that's interesting.
What was this electric thing that you were mentioning?
Well, I was thinking about Cord's knuckles, but now I'm thinking about the storm giant thing's a pretty good lead.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good lead.
Fascinating.
Wow. So can we, I mean, pump my parents for more information about this, but I mean, it seems pretty conclusive at this point.
Alls I know is Jay gets a medal for laying early pipe.
What other questions do you have?
Where was the chrysalis?
On a tree with a branch.
On a bough.
So is the chrysalis a reference to Thrax, who's gonna like molt or something and turn into a storm giant?
I was thinking the reverse. You were a storm giant and you morphed into a Thrax.
Okay, I like that better. So being a storm giant might be cool.
Your gloves, are they, or gauntlets? Certainly seem to be blessed by Cord, the Storm Lord, who surely smiles on the storm giants themselves.
Surely it was just a coincidence that I picked those.
Was it?
Are we having this whole discussion
seems-
just out in front of his parents, or
Seems that all of our artifacts seem to have been perfectly suited to our needs. It seems almost too much of a coincidence.
So maybe we should retire for the night down to the basement and have this discussion there.
Sure.
Or I mean, did dwarves equivalents of their mom's basement, are those like attics or something?
Yeah, it's the
Long-
above ground space, the less
As
desirable.
long as there are
above ground.
Totino's pizza rolls, I don't care.
Why is the dice the same size?
Wow.
Well, truly, this is another interesting wrinkle that it's hard to delineate how it might unfold within our investigations. But Thrax, I have a lot more understanding into why some of these other creatures feel you're special, although we have our own reasons and your loyalty and strength. But yeah, good to know.
Can we, Thrax, I'm trying to remember, did Thrax have any particularly interesting interactions with the storm giant, the nature storm giant when she came? Did she notice Thrax at all? Or?
Well, when she arrived in a pillar of lightning, it blew back Brambrick, but the lightning didn't seem to affect Thrax at all. But
Right, I was
when-
just wondering, did she take notice of him at all? But no.
No, I don't think so.
Well, shall we? Is it time to plan our approach to Mirabar, or?
What do we do with this hypothesis that we have about Thrax?
Are we all, I would like poke me and say, turn into a storm giant, something.
Well, it does seem like we do want to have further communication with the storm giants. And maybe it would be interesting to talk to them about Thrax.
I took
See
it.
where that goes.
But we don't have any proof, right? Thrax remembers his whole life as a dwarf. Thrax has never felt undwarf-like. Which, you know, might be the mark of not being a real dwarf.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there also something unusual about the Storm King's marriage did we get information on the Storm King's bride at the time? Jay?
I mean, the first story you heard about the wedding was just that the guy at the library said people were surprised he was getting married, but they didn't really elaborate as to why. And then from the story you heard most recently, no, that makes some sense that they were surprised he was getting married, because I guess that story got around that
Because he previously was cursed.
he'd given up his love, whatever that meant.
Mhm. Okay, but he found love. And as far as we know, it was with a storm giant, not a dwarf or anything.
Yes.
Okay. I guess we didn't ever, I don't know if we ever asked that specifically, but
Yeah. I think you may have asked, like, was she a storm giant? And the answer was yes.
okay.
But
All right.
certainly the sort of thing you would mention if it wasn't true.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure what's actionable. Can y'all cast any, the spellcasters, can they cast some sort of, is Thrax really a storm giant spell?
So I was looking and my divination spell lets me ask about future events, but I don't think that this lets me, I mean, we can try it. It's a ritual. I'm happy to try it. But I don't know that divination is really going to, we can ask a question, but it's really generally about a goal or something that's going to occur within the next 7 days, not something that has already happened.
So it's not a factual question. Isn't divination the same thing that gets me weal or woe?
Yeah.
Likely, yeah.
It's a different spell, but
It's
same
about
idea.
it's about foreknowledge, not about investigating the past.
It's not a yes or no thing.
If there was something that only the Storm King's child could do, I could ask if you could achieve that, for instance. But we would have to have a goal to do that within the near term. And I don't even know that we know anything that would satisfy those conditions anyway.
What's a morgie?
Jay, let me try something. Could you describe the terrain around here and the vegetation?
There's plenty of it.
Are there tall trees?
Like tall old trees.
Oh.
Yeah, old trees.
I mean, Thrax, I think the answer is yes, right?
How old is Thrax?
74, 75-ish. I mean, now that know that I'm adopted, I'm a little foggy on that.
Fair enough. Let me go outside and identify the tallest tree.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Speak to Plants.
Whoa. All right. Yeah. Hello.
So,
Hello, my friend.
Excuse me, old tree.
Yes. Yes. Yes, young friend.
I hope this is not an insult in your world, but might I ask if perhaps you are, say, older than 90 years old?
90 winters. The concept of numbers is difficult, but I am many, many winters old.
Many winters.
Many.
I heard many years ago that trees have very strong memories. Most things with trunks actually have very good memories, I hear.
I see much and I remember much.
So many, many, many years ago, there was an old woman who came to this house here with a baby. Do you remember that day?
The woman who was wrong. There
Ooh,
was a woman with a
Woman who
very
was wrong.
wrong vibe for her. She seemed she was a woman, but she was not a woman. Something was wrong with her. She had a baby, yes.
She had a baby, and many dwarves would describe her as ugly.
I would describe her as unsettling.
Settling. Well, and did you see where she came from? And she described a situation where there had been a murder of a wagon, and this baby had been left. Do you know, you're very tall. I imagine you were very tall before as well.
I was less
Amidst
tall.
much
I was less
less
tall
than-
then.
Less tall then, but everything else was less tall also, right? So you could see great distances. Could you see a wagon in the distance from around here?
I see many wagons, many
But
beings like you love using wagons.
this was a wagon that suddenly stopped, and there were some bandits who killed the wagoneers and stole the wagon. Do you recall seeing something?
Would that have been
an
the
act of
same
violence
day?
like that?
The same day that the wrong woman appeared? There was
Same day.
nothing. There was nothing. There were no violent acts before she appeared. It was a very. It was a cool day. There was a good wind. There were quite a few birds, but there was nothing violent that day that she showed up. I do remember.
Interesting.
I take that back. There was a blue jay that attacked a sparrow and bit its head off. And then the blue jay had the headless body of the sparrow in its mouth, and it was flitting from one of my branches to the next. Blue jays are jerks.
That is very un-Blue Jay-like to go after a sparrow's head, in my opinion. But you're more experienced.
I
in the
saw
way of
that. I
birds
saw
than I
that
am.
right outside my house so true story.
True story.
That seems
Cooper
very
Hawk grabbed a
Blue Jay-like.
bird out of the air in my backyard today. It was pretty awesome.
It did what?
It grabbed like a sparrow out of the air and like pinned it to the ground. So there you go.
A blue
See,
jay?
realistic.
It's a thing that happens, man.
Wow.
Apparently,
Blue jays
Boston
down here
Blue
must be
Jays
more
are
chill.
really assholes.
But I saw no humanoids committing violence that day.
Hmm. And can you describe what was unsettling about this woman?
She didn't act like the rest of you humanoids do. Was it her smell? Was it her look? Was it the way she acted? Was it the way she didn't know how to hold herself? She didn't walk in a straight line. She was holding the baby upside down until she got near the house, and then sort of figured out that it should be right side up. A cat hissed at her, and the woman spat, but the spit was like yellow. She did not. I've seen many humanoids. She was different.
And did you see where she came from?
Well, you see that road and how it sort of goes over hills and then over another hill and then over another hill. She came from that road.
Well, I
but
can't see it, but I trust you can see it. I can't.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
only
believe me.
2'8".
The road goes over 3 hills. I didn't see her come over the farthest hill. I didn't see her come over the middle hill, but she came over the nearest hill.
And what's on the other side of that nearest hill?
Well, last time I was there, I'm a tree. I haven't ever been there.
I
Sarcastic
didn't
treat.
know if
I
you could
love it.
see it.
What?
You know, maybe you could see it.
I thought, I mean,
Excuse
there's
me.
the valley that I can't see, and there's the.
Okay, well then, where did she go when she left?
Well, when she left, all the
Did you see
excitement
her-
was around the child and the new family, but I saw her walk off in the same direction she came. I saw her leave over that same hill and then didn't see her again.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
Thank you for
Um,
your help.
May you have another many winters, many you know, survived winters, and may you have tranquil blue jays in your branches.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I go back inside and I inform everyone of conversation, and I think we should go check out that valley to see where, you know, where she came from. Or does anyone else have any other ideas of
Well,
this?
Neil, I
You
know
it
that
doesn't appear that.
when we were with Morgie, she could just disappear into the astral plane. So we could check out the valley, but I think perhaps what's more curious about the story that the tree relayed was that this person seemed to just blink in and out. I mean, that's the sort of thing that we know hags to be able to do. So we might find something in the valley, but to me, what I hear is consistent with what we know hags are able to do. So we could go check it out though and see if we find anything.
I'm happy to go look.
Yeah, it's certainly, you know,
It
long
was
ago enough that
75 years ago.
any temporary,
Well, Melvin's a really, really good tracker, so I'm sure it'll be no problem.
but
I can
perhaps
also
there's
talk to
a-
another tree over there.
perhaps there's a weakness or like a closeness between the planes there, or like a long-standing portal either between the Feywild or one of the nether planes. So Melvin's skills at hunting those down and protecting the mortal realm from these incursions may come in handy.
Oh, shoot, that's creepy.
Or even if there isn't a live one, perhaps I can detect traces of something in the past. I don't know.
Should we check it out at night?
If we have pizza rolls,
I think we're all fueled up on goats or whatever and that was the other night.
out of curiosity, since I'm a little late, have we had a long rest since we've seen the orcs?
Yeah.
Since I
Yep.
dueled with the orcs? Okay, cool. Thank you.
We can check this out. I think tomorrow we need to be traveling to Mirabar. So, you know,
It's just over the hill. I mean, it's within tree sight. How far can it really be?
that's what I'm thinking. It doesn't sound like it's going to be that long to go investigate. Oh, I see. You're saying just do it in the morning after we're rested. That's fine too.
No. I mean, I'm happy to do it now. I'm all hopped up on dwarf juice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get to sleep right now anyway.
Somebody's giggling. All right.
Hey, Leo, how's it going, buddy?
Like John's
Hey.
kid, he likes to run around naked.
Yeah, they're wearing the same clothes, same outfit. Ow. What you hitting me for? You're the naked one.
Saying I'm wearing clothes.
Is that cool if we check that out? Anyone opposed?
I don't think we'll find anything. I think we should get on the road. But I guess what we're doing is stay the night, but then I think we should get on the road. And
Yeah,
We
I
can do
mean,
our due diligence real quick,
Right.
but I think, yeah. we
I
need
mean,
to get- we need to get
yeah,
to there.
I'll dispense. I mean, you check it, some subset of you goes, checks it out. No lingering magical effects, no planar portals detected. It's a low point between two hills.
No haggy hovels just sitting there waiting to be explored.
No lingering scent of pie.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Now Leo's got a gun. Look out.
All right. I gotta say, this is one heck of a plot twist, but I love that it seems so conclusive. Like, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, a lot.
Yeah.
Can I go? Never mind.
Yeah, let's get on the road to Mirabar.
Oh, it's
Off we
nighttime.
go.
Let's wake up and get on the road to Mirabar.
Let's go to sleep and see if anybody has any weird dreams.
Oh,
Jay, I'm gonna given our discussion, I'm gonna like concentrate again on Morgie and the jar and see like and say, is Thrax the storm giant prince? And see if she comes to me again.
All right. Okay. You all settle down for the night with questions in your head. And Brambrek, you do have a dream. In this dream, you are in a scene which you have been in before, in the bar in the village of Barovia. All the Octopodemos are there, sitting at a table. Morgie's sitting at a table. And Morgie says, I can give you information on Strahd. And Thrax is sitting right across from her. Morgie says, I can give you information on Strahd if you give me a bit of your blood. And Thrax pulls out a comically large axe and slashes it on his arm. And some blood pours out on the table in front of him, makes a round spot about the size of a saucer. The blood is sparking a little bit. And Morgie looks at it and says, oh, I thought so. As soon as I saw you, yes, I thought so. Yes, my sister's at work. Ha 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 ha. And she's looking at the blood and looking at Thrax and nodding. And Thrax says, but you said if I gave you some of my blood, you'd tell me about Strahd. And she says, I will tell you about Strahd. He's standing right behind you. And Brambrex, you noticed that Strahd is standing right behind Thrax. Surprising you hadn't noticed him before. And Strahd grabs Thrax by the beard, pulls him up like he's a Pez dispenser, and goes in and starts drinking the blood and comes out and says, this is incredible. What is this? So much power in this blood. This is incredible. The power. I can't stand it. And then Strahd explodes in a blue-white flash of light. And the flash of light goes off, and all the rest of the Octopodemos are standing around with like their hair singed and little bits of carbon on them. But Thrax, his head is back on his neck and he's none the worse for wear. And then this Barovian inn, the door blows open, the shutters blow open, and you see you're not in Barovia. You see the towns of the Sword Coast. You see Baldur's Gate, and you see Waterdeep, and you see Neverwinter. They're sort of in the distance, and there's a giant stepping on each one. Like the giants are even bigger than you remember. The towns are like the size of toys, and the giants are just dancing on them. And Morgie says, see, I told you. And she's looking up at Thrax, he's like, his head and shoulders are against the ceiling of the inn and he can barely fit in it. And she looks at you, Brambrek, and she says, I told you all of this is your fault. They think you're heroes. But what if they knew that everything that's happening is your fault? And she's looking at you as she says this, Brambrek, but it's sort of generic. She says, what if they knew, would they think you're heroes if they knew everything that's happening is your fault? Now, Brambrek, come stay with Morgie. Those cities, they will not love you once they learn it was your fault. Come stay with Morgie. I'll treat you right. And your friends can stay with us too. There's plenty of cow poop and chicken poop and pig poop to clean up. I'll find work for all of them. Come stay with Morgie. You're not, you don't need to stay here. And then there's a big explosion of lightning, fades into black. And then you wake up. It's still the middle of the night, but you wake up as soon as that dream ends. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
What we got 12.
Yeah, you don't feel well rested, and you feel like you're probably not going to get any rest. So you've got one level of exhaustion.
I think I was gonna tell the party about it, but then when she threw that bit on about it's like your fault, that's kind of sitting with me, and I don't want to like share with them that I know this. So I'm just gonna kind of like stew for the night. And
Yeah, and the way she's phrasing it wasn't. She might have been saying you. She might have been saying your
no,
party.
yeah, I get that. I get that. I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
But I think I was on board with telling the party about that I'd been communing with Morgie, but now that she's like said, hey, you're not going to be received as heroes as such, I'm like, oh, it might just sit on this information.
All right.
Should we
So-
head out?
Yeah, you have a not very well rested night. The rest of the night, Brambrek, and yeah, you get up in the morning.
Oh, I slept great. How about the rest of you guys?
Yeah,
Vance,
these dwarven beds are amazing.
got a little work done.
Man,
Didn't
No place
fit
like
very
home.
Well, they're a little small
place
for me.
no place like home. That's right.
Did they have any texts that like old history books that I could benefit from while I was there? Since I only tranced for a few hours and was done, and then I was just like, what else can I read?
Threx can't read, and two, you just witnessed an oral history by scarification ritual.
Fair enough.
I mean, maybe somebody does. I'll let Jay answer the question authoritatively, but I would be surprised.
Yeah,
Maybe
not
most
not in
people.
the not in that house.
Fair enough.
So I'm just gonna say that's all I have prepared for the night. If you want to discuss among yourselves a bit more, that's fine. But
There are a lot of reveals today, so
Yeah.
more like a lot of assumptions on your part.
yeah. Well, that,
Um,
Yeah, I guess the final dream from Morgie, I guess, wasn't needed, but I had it planned. So good job remembering the seeds that I dropped. I didn't know if
about all the blood and yeah.
Jay, the intra-party discussion channel is really just us, making fun of your continuity errors the whole time. So
so. There
yeah,
you
no,
go.
this is really good, Jay.
I hope you think that and not what did you do to my character?
That's pretty awesome. I'm
The
loving it.
superb owl. The superb owl. Did you do that?
That was it's on Boing Boing today. That's yeah. I was unclear on whether Hunter's response was I'm up for playing or I'm watching football. I really wasn't sure.
Well, football just ended, I think.
Oh, did it?
The Rams of Los Angeles, also known as the Detroit Rams, I believe won.
And
Detroit Rams, is that a historical thing? I didn't remember that.
Well,
that mean-
no. So the guy who was quarterback for the Detroit Lions for like forever got traded to the Rams in the offseason, and he won nothing at all when he was the Detroit quarterback. He was good, but he won nothing. And then now he went and won the Super Bowl. So
Does that mean I have to go out and riot now?
I
You're
I
allowed-
believe so. I believe that
I
is
don't know if you're
required.
obligated, but you're certainly allowed to.
If you see a police car on your street, just rock it a little bit. Just,
Imagine there's too many police cars on your street.
I mean,
Hoping where
how
your
many-
street is kind of tucked away and
how many
Cul-de-sac.
times do you get to take Lincoln and Noble out to go riot? I mean,
You
really?
know, more than you think.
he lives in LA. He lives in LA.
Yeah, it's one of the seasons.